Hello out there. Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator, was Stampin' Up. And I have to say, I'm happy to be here. Something on the transmission went out, and I just got home about a half hour ago from being in Yucca all day. And that's just how some days are. Hi, Jude. How are you? So, needless to say, it's a day, and it's okay. Everybody's safe, and that's what matters. So, hello. No problems. So, tonight, we are actually doing what we planned. Believe it or not. I actually pulled it off and pulled it together. So, I am just pulling up the computer so I can see things once I sit down. Whatever that means. And, hey Cheryl, how are you, honey? I had adventures today. I just got home a little bit ago. The transmission line seal or something decided to not be connected anymore. So I've had tow trucks and all kinds of messes, literally. And I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that everything turned out okay, and I'm happy everybody's safe, and that we're here to do this together. Yay! So, some days are better than others, right? So we're gonna get this done. Oh yeah, it's just life, girl. It's machines. It's just what it is. It's 10 years old. There's time for something to break. So, life was going too smooth, of course, right? So, for tonight, we are making leaves into awesome, poinsettias, sunflowers for you, Miss Cheryl. And of course, you know how to make a leaf background, right? And I'm looking right now to see where my envelope goes. Oh, hello, it's right in front of me. I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted. Hey, Barb, how are you, honey? So, alrighty. So let's do this, huh? Okay, so my take your pick tool is still in the other truck, which they just got home. And yes, it's just how things are gonna be, so yes. Alrighty, so this is a scratch piece. I wanted to let you know while I'm waiting. Hi, Denise. How are you? I wanted to let you know the difference between coloring with dark lines and light lines. So this is stamped with crumb cake, and this is stamped with soft suede. So you can see how the lines are accentuated. I did this at our team meeting last night. So the point is, when you don't want the lines to show, stamp with an ink that is as light as you can go with barely seeing it. So if you want a more watercolor look and you don't want to see the lines, this is what you need to do. The watercolor pencils, blender pen still, but you need to stamp as light as you possibly can. So if you're doing like a green, you would pick like a Daffodil Delight, which is a very pale yellow. And because there's undertone of yellow in the green, usually, you would hardly be able to see it. So unless you want the lines to show up, but just a little tip. Hi, Stella. How are you, honey? So, alrighty. So, hi. Thank you. Joel's just bringing in my stuff from earlier today in a different car. So, yahoo.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
Bye, baby.
Bye, baby. I'll be done in a few. Hi, Tara.
Hey.
So yes, I do have a life outside of Stampin' Up. I don't just wait for you guys. So anyways, this was stamped with Nature's Root, the stamp set. And this, you can tell, is leaves that are just put together. I know you guys know how to stamp a leaf background and that kind of thing, and where it hooks onto a stem and all those kind of things. Oh, and if you're wondering, yes, the tow truck driver has a wife, and yes, she will probably be coming to classes, because, you know, I can do that, right? Half-hour drive, I can convince a guy to probably be a crafter. So, yes, I am that kind of person. So, I don't remember her name, but I have his phone number. So, I think we're going to be just fine. Never ending. Alrighty. So I have punched out a 1 1/4 circle out of soft suede. I have stamped a bunch of the leaves in crushed curry. By the way, is kind of a sunflower color. Cheryl, if you need to know. And I've got some glue dots here. And I'm going to grab, without tearing my paper, I'm going to grab a couple, this brand new roll. So I'm going to grab a couple here. And this was embossed with the Softly Falling embossing folder. The snow, which, hey, by the way, you can also, if you turn it around, make champagne bubbles. And if you turn it around again, it becomes the center for your sunflower. So there you go, Cheryl. Another reason to buy the Nature's Root Bundle, or whatever it's called. So, you got it. Alright, so, but for tonight, okay, if you grab Nature's Root, there's these really cool embossed leaves. They do not cut on the sides. What you need to do is grab the framelit that goes with it. You know the difference between a framelit and an edgelit? Edgelit has the details in it, and a framelit frames what you're cutting, okay? So, with this, grab your embossed, yes, okay, so you're going to emboss your leaves, and then you're going to cut them out. You cannot, at least I have not figured out, well, maybe you can. No, it doesn't nest inside. Unless, is it the other way? I couldn't figure this out. And I was in a hurry, so I just did it. Nope, they don't nest. Anyways, so you emboss and then cut, or cut and then emboss, depending on what you're comfortable with. And you get a pile of leaves. Now, these were cut out in cherry cobbler because, honestly, I'm out of Mary Merlot again for the 15th time, okay? So what you want to do is you want to grab, and this is why I had this with the dogs out. So you want to grab a circle. I did 1 1/4 inch, but honestly it's whatever and however big around you want to make it. If you want to cut 42 leaves, then do a circle this big. But honestly, I don't want a huge poinsettia because I have other things to do tonight, in case you didn't know. So, okay, so this is your anchor point for your leaves, okay? But before we do that, grab your piercing mat. This is just a little chunk from a tool we used to have that's the same thing, okay? All right, so, and then you are just going to work the paper, as I say. Now, if you do not want your embossing to go away, and I'm doing this on the bottom ones because I really don't care if the embossing goes away up until about 3/4 of the way. But if you push and push, and this is, you can also do it with your take your pick tool, okay? But it's a little more flexible and you can flex them. That's if you want to do it. You don't have to. So I've got my white Whisper White circle, and honestly it could be whatever color you want it to be. No big deal, okay? I'm just gonna grab and I'm gonna put 2 glue dots, and the reason I put 2, so it doesn't swivel as much. That's all the reason is, okay? If you do one, it just tends to pivot a little bit, and I don't want it to do that. So I've got here, and I'm just building, oops. You want to make sure the glue dot is covered all the way. And I am just building my poinsettia. So I'm gonna do my 4 points and then layer and layer and layer. Okay? And that's about it for the poinsettia. I am missing on all these glue dots. You need to put them much closer to the corner. Woo, they work. So, I need to unbooger this guy and stick it underneath here. Okay. And unbooger is a technical term if you don't know that already. I'm just teasing. So, today in class we had very technical terms for just about everything. We had doodads and we had thingamajigs. You get the idea, right? So, and we're going to see how many leaves. But honestly, it really depends on how many layers you want to build. It depends on how big your circle is, because obviously if it's bigger, you're going to have more room to fiddle and do everything. And okay, so I'm not a horticulturist. So I guess I probably need to ask somebody that is. How many leaves does a poinsettia have? I don't know that answer. So I'm building this until it looks right. Forgive me if it's not genetically correct or however you want to say that. Okay? But this is what I'm doing for right now. So if there's 7 petals, leaves, whatever you want to call it, then please do 7. But I'm just working with what I got in my brain, and honestly I did not have time to look it up because I have been going all day. And yes, I'm going to say it like that. So, and then you're going to just stagger and you're going to go to the next layer here. And I am going to bend this little guy up because this is the part that I want to stand out. Okay? And like I said afterwards, just be very careful with the stylus because you will end up not having any embossing left, and that is not what we want to do, right? So let me go in between. So I want to go in between the leaves to create as much depth as I possibly can. All right, grab my glue dots, and I'm just building this guy. So do you see how leaves can become this gorgeous seasonal holiday plant? Okay, and then if you have tons of time, you could have colored this to make it darker in places, lighter in places. If you want to lighten, here's the easy way, as long as you're not allergic to bleach. So our paper is colored throughout, meaning there's not a white core to it. So what you can do very easily is you can take bleach to it, and whatever the undertone is, so for instance with a green it might be a yellow, that will come out in the bleach. So it's a very cool technique. We might have to do that soon. And I just did this guy backwards. Let me take this glue dot off because there's a more rounded side and there's a pointy side, and I want to be consistent with what I do. So see how there's a stem here and more of a rounded side? So I want to make sure I am consistent with what I do. Like everything in life, consistency is key. Even if you bang your head on the wall long enough in the same spot, you will get somewhere, I promise. So, somebody told me that once and I thought they were nuts, but it's so true. So, you know, if you stick to it, you will get it. So, like with crafting, right? If you practice long enough, you will get it. So this is my poinsettia. And I'm just bending these guys up. being careful to try to not crack the paper. So that is my poinsettia. What do you guys think? So far, so good? So I've got that, and then I've got these metallic pearls that come in gold and silver. Because unfortunately our blends, Miss Cheryl, do not come in metallic. So I actually bought these, and I'm thinking they're going to go right in the center here. And we're going to put a couple in the middle there to kind of hide where they come together. And I just thought this was absolutely gorgeous. So, trying to think, do they have 5 dots? I cannot remember all this stuff. So I'm going to do it till it looks right. I think it's 5. If it's not, yes dear. You know how it goes. Okay. So you don't want to do 100 of these because it's a lot of building and a lot of time. However, a couple is not too bad. So we're going to do the same pocket we did last week. This is just some of our designer series paper that's in our one of our Christmas sets. Okay, so we've got going across. Ooh, I did not fold that very straight. Welcome to my world today. Not very straight, but it is okay. Yes, I did get my green tea that I like at Starbucks. But I knew it had to be a sign when I couldn't even figure out how to order on the app, and I always do that. So you're going to want to use your bone folder if you have it. And you're just going to line up straight across. Doesn't really matter that this guy has a little bit of a gap because remember this guy comes over. So not a problem, right? So if you do not want your poinsettia to be on the back of that, but you'd rather have that green sticking up, then obviously you need to do opposite, right? All right, so we're gonna grab our tear and tape. Okay, and we're just gonna stick a guy down here. And we're gonna peel it up. Okay, so one down, yahoo. And we're gonna love this tape because you can just tear it. But don't call it terrible tape. I got called out on that. Terrible, not terrible, but yes, it needs to be tear and tape, which is the actual name of it. Okay, so there we go with that. And if you have a bone folder, if you have a stylus, if you have anything, you're just going to want to run it in there. And you're just loosening up those paper fibers so you can actually get something down in there. Okay? And then I'm going to put this here. Now you might want to put a little tag that says Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, you know, whatever the case may be. And I am just going to use some more of this tear and tape because honestly, I don't want to deal with any more glue dots after all the leaves. So, it's just what it is. Okay? So, obviously this poinsettia can go on a card, it can go on a gift bag, it can go anywhere you need it to be. And that is what I have. So, awesome, right? Oh, come on, please. So, there we go. There's our sunflower. There's our poinsettia. Obviously, you know how to stamp a leaf background. Be careful with the stylus because it will rub out your embossing. And I think that's all I have for tonight. Is that enough for you guys to get going? I really hope so. So, if you need the bundle, this is the Nature's Root framelits. And I can't remember what the bundle's name is. But, yes, it's been that kind of day and all my catalogs are still packed. So, that's just what it is. But, Nature's Root and it'll show you the stamp set, and then if you go to the page, then it will show you the bundle. And if not, I can tell you later. No problem. But it is expensive because the stamp sets come in 2 cases, even clear mount, so there's quite a bit to it. And you can make this gorgeous poinsettia with it, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff, and a sunflower. So bright, cheery, and lots of fun. So thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to follow me, stampingwithjohnny.com, and have a great night. I'm going to go figure out dinner. Talk to you soon. Thank you. Oh, hey, Anna. Rooted in Nature. Thank you. But I thought the bundle was a different name. So, all right. Well, I am off to go and not to see the wizard. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. Have a great night. Bye-bye.